Yeah, so we're gonna go right into mobility because like it's basically a long warm up, and
Okay.
then we're just gonna do this short round interval. All right. So we're gonna start. Let's start on the ground in tabletop. All right. So in tabletop, before we do anything, we're just going to do some nice gradual cat-cows, so rounding the back up and then dropping the belly button down, making sure we inhale up, exhale down. Actually, let me run a timer. You keep going. It's going to be a little slow. Get in a few more, so inhale, and then exhale, drop it down. All right, and then you can either tuck your toes or untuck your toes, whichever's more comfortable, and we'll go right into the rocking. Just some forward and backward rocking. And then adding in your head rotations wherever it's comfortable. So it can be when the hips go back, we can look over the shoulder, or when the hips go back, we can look underneath the arm towards the hip. Could also do those things when your hips come forward. And then while we're rocking, let's cross the right foot onto the left heel. So you're just going to let the laces of the right foot sit onto the left heel. And keep with your rocking. And then we'll switch sides. So now the left laces are resting onto the back of the right heel. And then we're going to walk down to the forearms for our commando rocking, but with one leg extended out to the side. So let's start with the left leg, directly out to the side, rocking. You're not going to get probably as great a range of motion. We're still trying to breathe in and out through your nose too, so if you can keep your mouth closed and just very casually breathe in and out through the nose. And we'll bring the left leg in now and extend the right leg out. Same thing. All right, so let's posture back up to tabletop. We're going to start with the left leg again. We're going to bring the left foot forward outside of the left hand into our kneeling spider lunge. I'm going to rotate up and then drop the elbow down. Rotate up and drop the elbow down. Get in two more. Nice tall reach. And then as far as you can down to the ground with the elbow, the forearm, one more. All right, don't switch sides yet. Take the left hand, grab the left ankle. Kind of create a brace with the ankle, or for the ankle with the hand. And then push the left knee out wide to rock out onto the left side of the foot, keeping the ankle nice and neutral. And then rock in, bring the foot back flat to the floor. Lower the hips, push the knee wide, back to flat one more time. Good. And then after that third one, we're just kind of straighten out the front left knee. So we're going to rock back and then forward. We want the left knee to be as extended as we can, sitting back. And then come forward, try to get the shin nice and vertical, drop the hips low, rock back, and then forward. We'll do one more. Good. Take the left leg, extend it straight back behind. And so we're going to do some ankle circles. So think about leading with your heel rather than leading with your toe. So we're going to drop the heel to the left, down to the right, and then forward. And your rocking is going to be pretty short range of motion, so you should feel some good movement in the calf. You're still trying to keep the hip and the knee nice and straight on the left side. And we'll switch directions. All right, let's bring the left leg in. Now we'll do the same sequence on the right side. So right foot is forward, kneeling spider lunge. Rotate up with the right arm and then reach the elbow, reach the forearm towards the floor. Rotate up and reach to the floor. Get in one more, so aiming for a total of 4. And then after that, we're grabbing the right ankle with the right hand. We're creating this little brace for our right ankle. And we're going to push our knee wide with our elbow, come out onto the right part of the foot, and then back, foot flat on the ground again. Keeping the ankle nice and neutral, pushing the elbow to push the knee wide. Back in one more time, let the hips drop. And then we're going to extend the knee and rock forward. And extend the knee, reach the hips back. Try to get the knee nice and straight. Open up the hamstrings, loosen up the hamstrings, drop the hips low. One more time, straighten out the knee. And then rock forward. Then we're going to take the right leg and extend it straight back behind to do those ankle circles again. So think about leading with the heel. Drop it down to the side, reach straight back to the other side, and then forward. Nice, and then switch directions. All right, so bring the knee in. We're back to tabletop, but we're going to drop our hips nice and low. And we're going to reach our arms overhead as far as we can, thinking about like inching the fingertips along the ground to extend the elbows all the way. You can open up the knees a little bit so that the torso and your belly can drop right in between the knees. And we're going to start by swimming the right arm around, lead with the palm all the way so that the hand ends up face up behind the lower back. And then we're going to swim forward, overhead, take the fingertips and walk them along the ground. Then the left arm is going to swim all the way around behind the lower back and then overhead. Palms down in the overhead. We're just going to keep alternating sides now, nice and slow. So palms down overhead, palms up behind the lower back. And every time the hand gets overhead or the arm gets overhead again, we're going to take the fingers and just walk them along the floor. All right, we're going to get even on both sides. So if you started on your right, finish up on your left. And then we're going to drop. We're just going to rest here. So we're going to bring the hands in so that we can rest the forehead on the hands. Might need to take the knees slightly wider. You want to let the belly fill up in between the knees and the quads. But then we're going to start to shift left and right. So think about moving the hips and the torso, but not the shoulders if possible. So you want to feel like you're trying to shift the hips just slightly towards the same side heel. And we're going to be breathing the whole time, trying to breathe into the belly so that the belly fills up that space between the knees and the quads. Get about another 5 seconds here. All right, and then from here, let's make our way to the ground. We're going to be on our left side. We want to hold our right knee up with our left arm. And we want to take our right arm. It's going to be facing down on our left side. And we're just going to open and close that right arm so that it faces down on the left side, and then the palm faces up on the right side, trying to get the right shoulder to rest towards the ground and the back side of the right hand to rest towards the ground. And we're going to hold that knee up nice and high above the height of the hip on the right side, just so all this movement's happening in the upper back. And then when we're closed again, so when the hand is facing down on the left side, we want to take a nice big circle, half circle with our arms. So we're going to take our fingers and draw a nice big half circle, nice and slow, all the way overhead till we're back to that open position, and then draw that big half circle back. So we're just trying to keep our fingers in contact with the ground, trying to keep the elbow as fully extended as we can. We're just going back and forth, slow and controlled, trying to get more movement in the shoulder. We'll do one more, but we're going to end up in that open position. So we should be laying open, chest to the sky. The right arm is to our right side, palm up, and we want you to draw the right elbow in towards the rib cage, and then we're going to draw and extend the arm directly overhead. So think about raising your hand, and then pull the elbow back down towards the rib cage on the same side, and extend overhead. Reach, reach, reach nice and far. We're going to do two more. So inhale the elbow down, exhale, extend up, and then one more. Good. Now go ahead and roll right over to your right side. So you're going to lay on your right side now. Same exact thing. Right arm holds the left knee up. Left arm does the opening and closing. So depending upon how tight you are in the glutes, I should have said this on the other side, holding that knee up past the hip, you should get a good stretch into the glutes a little bit. And then we're just trying to get that chest nice and open on these rotations or these open and closes. We'll do one more. Now with the palm facing down on our right side, we're going to draw that big half circle loop again to that open position, and then draw the half circle back. Nice and slow, trying to make sure the fingers don't come up off the ground, and that we can keep the elbow as extended as we possibly can. And let's do one half more, depending upon where you are. So we want to end up in that open position again. Drawing the elbow in towards the rib cage, and then reaching the arm nice and long overhead like you've raised your hand. Inhale, bring the elbow down towards the rib cage on the left side, and then exhale, extend the elbow, reaching up nice and far with the arm. One more time. Awesome. So since we're on the ground, let's just stay here. We're going to move to our back. We're going to hug our knees to our chest with both arms. And we're just going to rock left and right, trying to keep the lower back nice and flat, touching the floor. We're not going to rock too far left and right, but we want to make sure that we let our arms stop us before we get too far. So we don't want to rock so far that we fall over and we can't rock back. And you should feel like you're basically in that same position that you were in when we were face down and trying to fill that space between our knees and our quads with our belly. You can still feel like you're trying to do the same thing. The knees are probably pretty wide. You want to let your belly feel like it's pushing into that space between your legs. All right, let's plant the heels now. So the heels are going to be as far away from us as our arms and our fingertips are along. And then we're going to do one hip bridge up, and we're going to hold. Hold for about 15 seconds. So keep the hips up high, squeeze the glutes, keep the knees wide. 5 more seconds. All right, rest, come down. I'm going to do one more hold. Ready, up. Pick the hips up, extend the hips, squeeze the glutes, use the hamstrings, drive through the heels. All right, rest. So then we're going to get set up. Let's do a good figure 4 too. So we're going to cross the right ankle onto the left knee to start. We're going to pick that left foot up and we're just going to hug the left knee in towards the shoulder, towards the chest. Should feel a good stretch into that left side glute. Keeping the lower back nice and flat to the floor. And let's hug it a little bit closer for about 5 more seconds. Good. We'll plant the left heel. Now we'll plant the right heel, cross the left ankle onto the right knee, grab behind the right knee, pulling the right knee in towards the right shoulder. Good stretch into the left side glute, left side hip. All right. Tug, pull that knee in just a little bit further. 2 more seconds. Good. All right. Uncross there. We'll roll over back to our belly. Pull our hands in underneath our chest. Let's press up and then adjust the width of your feet so that you can walk your hands back to the toes without letting the knees bend. And then you're going to adjust the width of your feet so that we can drop the hips down nice and low to sit in between, or keeping the elbows in between the knees. You can go ahead and take your hands off the feet and then just keep pressing the elbows wide into the knees, trying to keep a nice flat back. Hips are down, heels are down. Push, push, push. We're going to hold for another 25 seconds. Should be able to wiggle your toes, so we don't want to push our weight into our toes. All right, hang in there for another 5 seconds. All right, go ahead and plant your hands. Let's extend the knees. So straighten those knees out. Go ahead and walk back out partially. We're going to drop the right knee down and step forward with the left foot into a kneeling lunge. All right, so the right knee is down. The right knee should be right underneath the right hip, should be right underneath the right shoulder. Left foot should be nice and flat on the ground. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a nice deep inhale, and then we're going to exhale and sink forward, but keeping the chest up and shoulders back. So a good stretch into that right side hip flexor. And then when we're here, let's squeeze the glutes of the right side, to the side that is down. Squeeze the glutes nice and tight. We're going to hold it for another, say, 5 seconds. And then we're going to release that hold and exhale and just let ourselves sink a little bit lower and hold here. Get another 5-second hold here in the bottom. Awesome. All right. So we're going to switch sides. Right foot forward, left knee down. So remember, left knee right under the left hip, right under the left shoulder. We're going to push the hips forward, thinking about someone just taking their hands, pushing the hips forward. We're going to hold here. And then we're going to squeeze the left side glutes. So squeeze the left side glutes nice and tight. Stay in this nice, tall, kneeling position. And then we're going to unsqueeze the glutes and sink. Keep the chest up, but drop forward. Breathing, breathing, breathing. Let's try to hold it a little bit longer as we're forward. All right, come out of there. Let's plant the hands one more time. Feet are going to be wide so the knees can stay straight, to walk the hands all the way back. And then we're going to roll up to standing. From our standing position here, let's take the right thumb to the left hip, and we're just going to open up to the ceiling, leading with the thumb, palms up at the top, thumbs back at both the bottom and the top. Good, and we'll switch sides now. So same thing, left thumb to the right hip. Say maybe like 2 or 3 more. All right, let the arms hang and then cross. And every time we cross, we're going to let the opposite arm be on top. So it'll be left on top, right on top, left on top, right on top. And on this next one, let's take the right arm and hold the left arm across. So we're going to try to get this arm to be parallel. So we don't want it to be down or up too high, but we want to hold it at parallel across the shoulders. Good stretch in the back side of the shoulder, and then we're going to uncross and switch sides. All right, uncross, swing them out. So let's come up to our goal post, all right? So elbows are at shoulder height, yes. Fingertips are up, palms are forward. We're going to rotate the arms down, but keep the palms up. I'm going to come back to goal post. Let's bring the elbows and the hands together, and then extend the elbows. There you go. And then come back to 90, open up to the goal post, turn the palms down, but keep the elbows high. Back up to goal post, elbows and hands together, extend the elbows, back to 90, open up, turn them down. Let's do one more. So we're up to goal post, elbows and hands together, extend, back up, and goal post. Good. We'll let them swing again. All right, we're almost there. So let's take the left arm overhead, and we're just going to try to reach as far as we can down the center of our back, our upper back. We want to keep the, it's kind of hard to see, we want to keep the elbow nice and high right here. And then switch sides. Just want to keep that elbow reaching up towards the ceiling. Good. All right, let them hang loose. Let's stand on the left leg, little bend in the left knee, and we'll just do some sweeps with the right leg. So remember on this, we're trying to let the right side of the body move, and we want the left side of the body to keep us stable. So the foot's going to be grabbing the ground, the knee should feel like it's stabilizing us, and then if we keep our eyesight out in front, about 4 to 6 feet, that'll help keep us in one spot too. And we're going to keep sweeping, but we're going to switch from forward to back to go into a diagonal pattern. So open up on the back side on the right, but lead with the arch of the foot to come forward. Might throw off your balance a little bit more. Your arms are going to move with you, that's fine. All right, planting the right foot, let's do the same thing. Little bend in the right knee, left leg sweeps forward and back. Remember, let the toes and the foot feel like you're gripping the floor. Let the knee feel like it's stabilizing you. Keep your focal point out on the floor in front. And then take that sweeping leg forward and back and go to a diagonal. Lead with the arch of the foot, open up in the hip on the left side. Good. Now we're standing on both feet again. You can march them out a little bit. Give the right side a break. Narrow stance so we can do our good morning. So we're going to have a slight bend in our knee. We're going to hinge the hips back. When we hinge the hips back, though, Let's keep the hands behind the head, and we want to let the elbows touch. But notice, I'm not going to come too low. So I want the upper back to round on this, and then come up and extend and pull the elbows apart. So we're just going to stop when we get to about that, kind of like if we were to put our hands down and rest on our knees. We don't want to go any lower than here. Elbows are going to touch, and then we're going to exhale, pull everything apart. Inhale back, exhale and extend. Nice, slow, and controlled, so that when the elbows touch, we're just trying to feel like creating space between the shoulder blades, but then we're pulling the space together when we extend the hips and the knees. Really squeeze the glutes and the quads at the top. Let's just stick with this until our time is up on the mobility movements. It's about 8 more seconds. All right. Cool. So, should feel pretty good and limber now, hopefully.